So the newest episode of Helluva Boss came out. It was packed with tons of action, jokes, and emotional moments. In this video, I'm going to give a rundown of what happens in the episode, and then after, I'll go through the things I liked and disliked about it. So the episode starts off with Andreas, Stella, and Stolas discussing the terms of their divorce in a cafe. Stella wants more money and uses the meeting as a trap to lure Stolas so Stryker can kill him. Stolas gets captured by Stryker and is wrapped in an angelic rope to prevent him from using his powers. Stolas calls Blitz and IMP for help. Luna has to get a job at the hospital, so her and Blitz go to the sloth ring, while Millie and Moxie go to Wrath to save Stolas. While Stryker is travelling by horseback, we hear the first song of the episode, sung by some mariachi imps. This song is called The Ballad of Stryker. While this is happening, Blitz and Luna are at the hospital waiting to be served. Blitz has an argument with another Hellborn demon, and Luna is scared of needles. Back in the Wrath Ring, Millie and Moxie stop at a gas station to search for Stryker. While Millie chats to the mariachi band, Moxie gets attacked by some imps, kills them, and blows up the gas station. Stryker has brought Stolas to his hideout and straps him to train tracks. He uses an angelic dagger to injure Stolas. Back at the hospital, Blitz and the doctor are trying to get Luna to take her job, which she isn't happy about. We see a wide shot of Andreas' ice castle. Andre and Stella are discussing the plan to kill Stolas, and Andre realizes that if Stolas dies after their divorce, his wealth will be passed on to Octavia, and as a result, him and Stella won't get anything. Stella phones Stryker, telling him not to kill Stolas, and that she'll pay him more to keep him alive and bring him to them. At this moment, Moxie and Millie blast through the roof in the IMP van. They have a fight with Stryker, and during this, the second song of the episode, What You Thinking About, plays on a boombox. While they fight, we cut back to the hospital where Luna and Blitz are fighting with the doctor, trying to get her to take the jab. A statue falls on Stryker and he escapes. Moxie and Millie save Stolas, but he's in bad shape. Back in the sloth ring, Stolas is rushed into hospital. The IMP crew are worried because they didn't realize Stolas could get injured. We see Stolas in hospital texting Blitz, and the episode ends with him sitting in bed alone. So with the episode's rundown finished, it's time to talk about the things I liked and disliked about the episode. To start things off, I'll give the things I liked. Firstly, I thought the episode was fantastic. This episode was written by Viv, and as a result, it had some sincere emotional moments. The episode introduced a new character, Andreas, and I thought he was great. The voice actor did a good job, and he suited the upper-class, pompous attitude of the rest of the Ars Goetia. Seeing him interact with Stella was also entertaining. It's likely that Andre is manipulating Stella to get her wealth, so it'll be interesting to see what role he'll play in future episodes. His castle was also awesome. It reminds me of the Ice King's lair from Castle Crashers. One change which I actually liked was Edward Bosco as Stryker. According to Viv, Norman Reedus was unable to record the lines for Stryker in this episode, so from now on, Stryker will likely be played by Edward. Personally, I liked this change, and I thought Ed did a wonderful job. Edward has voiced multiple characters in the show previously, and when watching the episode, I didn't realise that Norman wasn't voicing Stryker. I had found out before watching the episode because of people spoiling it on Reddit and Twitter. If it wasn't for these spoilers, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. This change has been quite controversial, and I can understand why. It reminds me of when Stolas' voice actor was replaced after the Helluva Boss pilot. It might be a little jarring for fans at the moment, but I feel like if Stryker returns in the future, fans will be used to Ed playing the character by then. My personal favourite performance of the episode was Stella. I adore Stella's voice, and I've always loved her character design. In this episode, we got a ton of screen time for her, and we were able to see some of her motives behind divorcing Stolas. We got to see her relationship with Andre, and seeing the two characters interact in their castle was entertaining. Stella is quite a controversial character, but personally I think she's one of my favourites. I hope we get to see more scenes from her in the future. The main cast did a great job as always, though unfortunately Luna didn't say any lines this episode. I saw some fans saying that the reason was because Luna's voice actor, Erica Linebeck, was taking some time off because her fiancé/husband passed away. I'm not sure if this is the exact reason why, but it's very sad about the news of Erica's husband. I offer her my sincerest condolences. This episode had a number of guest appearances like Broadway actors voicing the mariachi band. I love the mariachi band, and the jokes associated with them were hilarious. I thought the episode overall was paced quite well. One of my past criticisms was that some episodes had pacing issues or tonal shifts, but in this episode I don't really think that was an issue at all. The episode flowed really well, and I liked the contrast between Moxie and Millie fighting Stryker versus Blitz, the Doctor, and Luna fighting. Sometimes shifting scenes can drag you out of the action, but I thought they pulled it off decently well in this episode. The episode's plot was also quite organised. It was cool starting off at a cafe and then shifting between the Wrath Ring, Andre's castle and the Sloth Ring. Each ring had its own aesthetic and decorations, which made the episode a joy to watch. I loved our introduction to the Sloth Ring, and I hope we get to see more scenes in that ring in the future. Continuing with the plot, I like the emotional moments related to Blitz and Stolas. We saw how tense the relationship is, and this was reiterated by the sad ending. If you read all of the texts, you can see how Blitz and Stolas speak via text. Blitz uses one-word sentences with little elaboration, while Stolas speaks professionally and is quite emotional. I know there's some fans who dislike the Stolas stuff, but I personally like it. It gives us a break from the action, and I'm genuinely rooting for the pair to work through their issues and end up happy. Like with the rest of the series, this episode had fantastic visuals. Personally, I think they knocked the ball out of the park with this one. Throughout the episode we saw lots of unique 3D assets and designs, like with Stryker on his horse or the 3D van going down the highway. The episode was delayed slightly, and I think it probably had to do with these scenes. They were probably complicated to make, and I think it was worth the wait. I think the Spindlehorse team deserve a pat on the back for these 3D elements, and I hope we get to see similar scenes in the future. The two songs in this episode were awesome. The Ballad of Stryker sounded epic and was paired perfectly with the on-screen visuals. Similarly, the second song, What You're Thinking About, was great too. The pop version sounds great, and I'd love to hear the full thing on Spotify or YouTube. It was partly made by Silvahound, who made the Addict song, so it's no surprise that it was awesome. The fight scenes were sick as well. It was cool to see Millie and Moxie work as a team to take down Stryker. Similarly, it was funny watching Blitz struggle to bring Luna under control at the hospital. Since Stolas was injured in this episode, it's likely that it'll have an effect on future episodes. Perhaps IMP and Blitz will give him special care since they know he isn't invincible like they previously thought. I personally liked many of the jokes, like when Blitz wasn't allowed to say the R word and him arguing with another demon about the Hell hierarchy. Moxie was especially funny, like when he interacted with Stryker and told him harder, or when he made fun of him for being a cowboy. I believe the writing was well done and had no major issues. Overall, this episode raised the bar in both the story and technical department of the series. It had stunning visuals, a good plot, and fun music to go along with it. With the things I like discussed, it's time to talk about some of the things I didn't like. The first is the length of the episode. It was 20 minutes long, and I think if we had an extra couple of minutes, it would have provided additional content for the story. The last episode was 25 minutes long, so this episode felt a little quick compared to it. I don't think the runtime caused any huge issues to the story or plot, but I just felt like the episode flew in a little too quick, especially when large portions were wide shots of Stryker on his horse or fight scenes. The second thing is that Luna once again didn't speak. It's completely understandable why she didn't though. The third thing is to do with the ending. Personally, I feel that Blitz should have messaged Stolas. I don't want to veer into headcanon territory, but I hope in future episodes we get some improvement in their relationship. If Blitz had visited Stolas in hospital, it could have provided some character development for the pair, and perhaps would be the start of them resolving their issues. The text messages reiterated this, with the two of them not talking in person to work out their differences. If Blitz had visited Stolas, it would have given them a chance to sit down and have a chat. In conclusion, I really enjoyed the episode, and similarly to the previous episode, I think it was a step in the right direction. I thought it was the right balance of action, stunning visuals, and character development. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next episode. So that's everything. Do you agree with some of the things I said, or do you have any thoughts that you'd like to share? If you have any criticisms or strengths of the episode, I'd love for you to leave them in the comments down below and I'll have a look. Thanks for watching.